What's up, guys? It's Dan from Crypto Camacho. I am back here with Rod Spectro, here to talk about the Spectro range plugin. All right, so if you remember last time, we're doing a series where we're looking at not only Spectro M, which is the main plugin that Hypester is providing that Rod has actually built. We're looking at the additional 5 plugins that you're going to get if you participate, if you subscribe to Spectro and start using the service. Today we want to talk specifically about Spectro range, which is another indicator, another plugin specifically. So Rod, let's just jump right into it. And if you want, you can share your screen or whatever and just tell us, how Spectro range works. Thanks. Welcome back again, and happy to have you. Let's go.
All right, thank you for having me back. And all right, let's get it. Okay, so basically, we have talked about Spectro several times, and we all know it comes from like a statistical model that compares, price action. So is it too far out of, what is good and what is bad? Okay, and the Spectro range basically tells you when this movement is healthy or not, when it's too far out of the range or not.
Okay.
So let's we were studying this asset the last time. We were discussing about the ways to use the oscillator for swing trading and stuff like that. So let's keep this in mind to see what is healthy and what's not, because it's actually a very good movement to study, especially because of this abomination here, right? So let's understand what the spectral range does for you.
Okay.
And how you can use it and how you cannot use it. So the last time we were studying the divergency of the oscillator. So the oscillator is going up, the price is going down.
Rod, I don't see your screen. If you share your screen for us, I don't think we could see it quite yet.
Sure.
No worries.
So,
but we were looking at Bitcoin last time, and you were showing us divergence with the oscillator.
Yeah, sorry.
No.
So divergence is basically, when a specific indicator of yours has a different insight from what is actually going on. For instance, this abomination here that I was talking about was this. Okay.
Yep.
So it's a huge drop. It's a pattern that I've came to meet once I was trading Bitcoin. It's the waterfall pattern.
Yeah.
So what is a divergency? So it's pretty obvious going down, but then you have this uptrend here. This is a divergency. And the moment they cross, which is basically here, right? That's a trend change.
Yep.
And that's the trade we did last time.
Yep.
Right?
Based on the oscillator data, which you're showing here, which is good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you see, this is a different type of trade. The spectral range is when you want to trade what I don't like to trade, but often people like to, which is very aggressive, very volatile moves.
Okay.
What I'm talking about is something like this. And the big question is like when it's the bottom, right? When it's going to reverse. So in this case, it's such an aggressive downtrend, and also Bitcoin is kind of manipulated. We talked about this before. It's always hard to find bottoms when you have not many individuals controlling the movement. So when you're trading something like 12 hours, which is what we're looking at, I don't think trying to pick bottoms, the very bottom itself, it's going to work. I think it's going to work out better when you're scalp trading, with leverage, for instance.
Okay. Yeah.
Which is something that we can look at now. And that's when, and let's see, close price action. So people don't say that, oh, you're picking good assets. So it's just going on right now. And let's see the last warnings that the spectral range gave you.
Yeah.
Okay. So basically, this is the range here. I'm going to ignore the oscillator. Okay.
Yep.
I'm going to ignore all the other indicators. We have price action and we have the range.
Yep.
So basically, you see two things popping up right here. So I think it's pretty clear already what they tell you.
Sure.
So this is this one, you see, it's synced.
Yeah.
So you can see it's right.
Yeah.
This is actually the very bottom candle.
And What does the range measure? Like what? How do you calculate it? Just out of curiosity.
Okay, so that's a very good question, actually. I'm glad you asked. So let me turn off everything so we don't have, anything, making people like, oh, what is that? What is that?
Yeah, yeah.
So let me turn off everything so we just have the range itself. So the spectral range comes from the spectral oscillator and the spectral technology itself. So let's just play the oscillator and you're gonna see what I'm talking about really, really fast. So the spectral range tells you like, hey, this is just too much. This is too far out of everything we've seen in the past, and statistically, it's very likely for it to be a bottom.
Okay. Okay.
So you can see that when the oscillator it's very like spiked like this, it's you see how far it is from the average. I like to trade like this several times. You see how far this is.
Yeah.
This is when the range is just too far out.
Okay.
And when it's too far out, odds are that it will correct to what it's normal. It's just how the universe is.
Is that kind of like a similar concept as like a Bollinger Band almost, that it will kind of return to the mean almost?
Yeah, basically, I haven't studied the story behind the Bollinger Bands, but basically the price action happens 90% of the time within the Bollinger Bands.
Okay.
And the spectral range is somewhat like that. You see, it's normal for the price, the oscillator to happen within those lines here. Like this. It's close to the price action.
So
this is not normal.
So this is a way to kind of predict the bottom. I mean, in this case specifically, it's two ways that you're looking at predicting the bottom here of a downtrend when it may reverse. Yep. Okay.
Yeah. So basically, I back tested it and see like how far out it is to be very likely for this to be the bottom. You see, of course, sometimes, especially when you have something that it's outside of the technical parameters, something like this, it's gonna pop all the time because it doesn't matter what you trade, something like this is not normal.
Yeah.
Technically speaking. So usually it comes from like a bigger ulterior, fundamental motive.
Mm-hmm.
But when you go to small time frames, they're basically technical. Like when you're talking about 15 minutes, 5 minutes time, it's a bearish day, sure, but within, like an hour, it doesn't really matter, right? So when it comes down to scalping and stuff like that, it's a very technical universe.
Okay.
And I think it's important to understand the context. So it's basically as simple as that. Like this is a very good bottom. Let's change the candles. This is a very good bottom candle. Once again, like you have this one. Like I'm a conservative guy. Like this is, you see that this range is not so far down like this one.
Yeah.
Or this one. So like I only trade on the the most conservative signals. Always.
Okay.
Always. So
what does it mean? What does it mean? Maybe you're going to say this, but what does it mean when the green line goes underneath the dotted line is that when you would trade, like when it's really prominent? Okay.
This is basically the last threshold. Okay. It's like the most aggressive, the biggest anomaly possible within a reasonable universe.
Makes sense. Yeah.
So there's a little more to it. I'm trying to keep it simple, but you see that sometimes that the price comes here, but it doesn't get green, and also you have those extra confirmations here. Let's see if we can find, for instance, sometimes you have those extra confirmations happening here, but the range is not so good, even though those guys here, they predict the top kind of well. You see, like this is actually a good top.
Yeah.
But you see, it's within it's not a very volatile move. I don't think it's what you're looking for. The spectral range is really good when you're trying to get spikes, huge drops, trading gaps, like aggressive, faster movements generally.
Sure.
All right. It's something that I don't use so often because, like I said, I'm conservative. I trade what's easy.
Yeah.
But you know, I only trade when everything agrees.
Hmm.
When everything agrees.
No, but again,
So like when
I mean, again,
mm,
it's another indicator, though, another indicator you can use to gain confluence with other indicators to make a probabilistic decision that the price is going to go up or down, right? So, again, just another kind of valuable, whether you're a day trader or not, and if you are a day trader, I think this is actually a really cool tool to use, or this, this specific technique. As a day trader, I think that's powerful.
yeah, for instance, let's study you know those three bars here.
Yeah.
So you see the first one, it goes all the way down but doesn't get green. So it's not conservative enough. And
Okay.
you see this bar here is this guy here.
Yep.
You see?
Yep.
Then the next one, that's one of the most conservative ones because it has a warning sign, goes
Mhm.
all the way down, and it is green.
Okay.
And if you look at it, it's actually one of the safest and the best candles you can hop in. Of course, you can, you know, try to nail the bottom here, but, you know, reality and stuff.
Yeah. No. No.
So,
Totally.
yeah, you know what I mean? So that's basically the very best candle, you know, from my perspective, that you could trade in. And then you can use the same thing again. So let's say you get in here after this drop and you get out, you know, whatever here. Because you see, I'm very conservative to get in and I'm very conservative to get out. So usually when I have, you know, if my profit's decent enough, I get out at, you know, at the first sign of trouble.
Yeah.
So let's see
But
how much this trade would be.
so,
You know,
yeah.
not bad.
And this is on a 15-minute chart, right? So in
Yeah.
whatever time the period, that's what, 15 hours? In 15 hours,
15
2%.
hours.
Yeah, which is not
Yeah.
bad at all.
It's an intraday position, you know,
Sure.
not bad.
What about, so is it the same logic the other way around, right? When you're at the top, the red bars, and you did point it out, the higher the red bar is above the dotted line, and the more warnings there are above that, the more conservative it is, and the more chances or the more likely it is that the price goes down, right? Same logic, right?
Exactly. You see, there's this bullish movement here,
Yep.
and then you start getting warning signs, and then you have more warning signs with, you know, red candles. I mean, how aggressive are you? I
Yeah.
mean, you see this huge last move here, and then you get this bearish candle, you know, here, and you also have another warning like, hey man, this is too far out.
It's going. Yep.
Why would you hold? You know, like it's all about your strategy, I
Yeah.
guess.
No, this is awesome. Okay, so this makes sense. So this is the spectral range. You have the
Yeah.
oscillator. Just my last question is, do you often we could maybe talk about this later, but just like in 30 seconds, like do you often combine these different, like would you use the oscillator and the range and M all together? Like you would, right? To make, how do you approach that?
Okay, so the thing is, like, all those things come out of my brain, you know. So, like,
Of course.
you know, we talked about this before. I kind of know it, you
Hmm.
know. Like, I've been using for so long that I kind of have all of them in my brain, you know.
Sure.
Just from looking at it, I kind of know already, you know. And to be fair, those latest things, you see, they kind of come out from, you know, it's a derivative from another indicator that I have. So you see, I
Okay.
don't need it. You know what I
That
mean?
makes sense. Yeah.
But I created it for people that trade in a different style than me. You know,
Yeah.
I don't like to trade like this. But I know there are people that trade like this, and I know that's also a very profitable way to trade.
Sure.
So, you know, I'm just trying, especially because in our community, there are like most of the people actually, you know, trade intraday, they love to scalp. You know, like every single beginner ever, you know, like the most they trade, better they think it
Yeah.
is.
Yeah.
So I'm just trying to keep them alive, kind
Yeah.
of situation.
Cool. Well, this is good. This is a great, I think, tutorial on the spectral range. Thank you, Rod. I think we should kind of stop it here because I think this was really valuable. Really, a lot of nuggets in here on how to use this specific indicator. Let's move on, and let's move on to another one. We're going to make a series of videos for those of you that have been watching, for those of you that have just jumped in. We're making a series of videos, or a mini course, if you will, to help you understand how to better use Spectro and the number of indicators that it comes with. So thank you, Rod. Thanks for coming today, and we'll do another session. Any last kind of parting words for everybody out there about spectral range?
Yeah. I think when it comes down to spectral range, if you don't have a lot of experience, try to use it to minimize your risks. My honest and my humble 2 cents, like, I wouldn't use it as your main strategy, as your main trigger. I would use it, to minimize, like, okay, is this the bottom? Or also you could use it to take profits. I mean, let's say you actually made a good trade, you hop in here, and sometimes you get greedy. Or another thing that I see that beginners fail to do a lot, especially when they're winning, like when you're winning, you should hold longer, and when you're losing, you should let go faster. So usually when you're winning and you're a beginner, you tend to not win a lot. So you say like, oh, I'm up 2%, you tend to sell, right? And this is a tool that might help you, like, but man, you see, it's still a healthy movement. Why are you selling?
Sure.
So try to use it to complement your current strategy. And if you don't have a strategy, you should have one. Like, if you don't have a strategy, you shouldn't even trade. So try to use it as a, like a complement. And if you're experienced enough and, like, you're scalping with leverage and stuff, which is something that's very, very, very dangerous. Like, if my kid did it, I would beat him up. Kind of situation, But if you use it, then it's a very, very valuable tool, to find, the best entry points. As you can see here, you can trade Bitcoin up to 100 times leverage. So you could make like 200% in a day, in 15 hours. With a very, very simple strategy with one indicator, basically. So those are my last words for you.
No, that's awesome. I have found myself in the exact situation you've described, going down and going up, and it took me a while to learn that I need to sell faster and not psychologically wait and think, oh, it's gonna go up, because that's what happens. And then on the upside, I need to wait longer. I used to do that exact same thing that you said. I used to be like, oh, I made 2%, sell. And then I'd sell, and it would shoot up 15%. I'd be like, wow. So that's awesome parting words. I'm going to leave it with that. And thanks again, Rod. Love having you on, and let's continue to do this. But until then, everybody, if you like what you see, click the subscribe button, leave a comment, let us know if there's anything specific you want us to talk about, any specific thing you want to learn, or any specific coin chart, whether it's Forex, stocks, or cryptocurrency. We could take a look at that and do some of these demos there. Again, I'm Dan from Crypto Camacho. This is Roderick Spector from Hypester, representing Spectro Indicator, and we'll talk to you next time, guys. See ya.
Thank you.